Before we begin, take a moment and picture something very carefully. Two patients are seated at the same table. They eat the same meal, the same carbohydrates, the same proteins, the same fats. Yet after the meal, one of them feels energized and satisfied, while the other feels bloated, nauseated, uncomfortable, and completely exhausted. The same meal, but completely different outcomes. Why does this happen? Because digestion is not merely about eating food. Digestion is about coordination. It is about timing. It involves secretions, nerve signaling, blood supply, muscular contraction, microscopic transport mechanisms, and hormonal regulation, all working together in synchrony. The gastrointestinal system is not simply a food tube. It is one of the most intelligently coordinated systems in the human body. Today, we are going to break down the entire gastrointestinal system, from the very moment food enters the mouth to the final moment waste leaves the body. And we will do it in a way that makes everything logical and connected. By the end of this session, you will not just know the GI system. You will understand it, and once physiology becomes clear, pathology and pharmacology stop feeling difficult. Let's begin. The big picture. What the GI system really is. At its core, the gastrointestinal system is a highly specialized processing channel designed to convert external material, food, into internal fuel that the body can use. Conceptually, the task sounds simple. The system must ingest food, break it down mechanically and chemically, absorb useful nutrients into circulation, and eliminate waste products. However, what seems simple on the surface requires extraordinary coordination beneath. The GI tract extends approximately 9 meters in an adult human. It begins at the mouth, passes through the pharynx and esophagus, enters the stomach, continues into the small intestine, then the large intestine, followed by the rectum, and finally ends at the anus. But digestion is not limited to this hollow tube alone. Accessory organs, the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas, contribute essential secretions that make proper digestion possible. The entire system functions like a highly regulated biochemical factory. Every segment has a specific role. Every secretion has a purpose. Every contraction has a direction. And when one component fails, symptoms appear. Understanding structure is the first step toward understanding dysfunction. The layers of the GI wall. Structure defines function. To truly understand how the gastrointestinal tract works, we must first understand how it is built. From the inside outward, the GI wall is composed of 4 major layers. The innermost layer is the mucosa. This layer is in direct contact with ingested food. It contains epithelial cells responsible for secretion and absorption. Beneath the epithelial lining lies the lamina propria, which contains immune cells and blood vessels. Underneath that is a thin layer of smooth muscle known as the muscularis mucosa. This mucosal layer is crucial for nutrient absorption. If it becomes inflamed or damaged, malabsorption occurs. This is why certain diseases lead to weight loss and vitamin deficiencies. Outside the mucosa lies the submucosa. This layer contains blood vessels, lymphatic vessels, connective tissue, and an important nerve network known as the submucosal plexus. This nerve supply regulates secretions and local blood flow, ensuring that digestive enzymes and fluids are released at appropriate times. Next comes the muscularis externa. This layer is responsible for movement. It consists of 2 smooth muscle layers, an inner circular layer and an outer longitudinal layer. Between these 2 muscle layers lies the myenteric plexus, which controls peristalsis, the coordinated muscular waves that propel food forward. If the muscularis externa does not function properly, motility disorders develop. Food may move too slowly or too quickly, leading to symptoms such as constipation or diarrhea. Finally, the outermost layer is either the serosa or the adventitia, depending on the segment of the GI tract. This outer covering provides protection and structural integrity. When inflammation extends through all these layers, serious complications such as perforation can occur. This is not merely anatomical detail, it is clinically relevant anatomy. Motility, how food actually moves. Many people assume that food moves through the digestive tract because of gravity. That assumption is incorrect. Food moves through the GI tract because of precisely coordinated muscular contractions. The primary movement pattern is known as peristalsis. Peristalsis is a wave-like contraction that begins behind the food bolus and pushes it forward. It is organized, directional, and purposeful. In the small intestine, another type of movement called segmentation takes place. Unlike peristalsis, segmentation does not primarily push food forward. Instead, it mixes food thoroughly with digestive enzymes, increasing contact between nutrients and the absorptive surface. These movements are regulated by the enteric nervous system, often referred to as the second brain of the body. Parasympathetic stimulation enhances motility and secretion, while sympathetic stimulation inhibits them. When motility becomes excessive, diarrhea may occur because there is not enough time for proper absorption. When motility is reduced, constipation develops because stool remains in the colon for too long. Motility is not random. It is controlled, timed, and coordinated. Secretions. Chemical digestion in action. Mechanical breakdown alone is not sufficient. Chemical digestion is essential for nutrient absorption. Digestion begins in the mouth, where salivary glands release salivary amylase to initiate carbohydrate digestion. Even before food reaches the stomach, chemical processing has already begun. In the stomach, several important substances are secreted. Hydrochloric acid creates an acidic environment that activates digestive enzymes and helps sterilize ingested food. Pepsinogen is converted into pepsin, which begins protein digestion. The stomach also produces intrinsic factor, which is essential for vitamin B12 absorption later in the ileum. If intrinsic factor is absent, vitamin B12 deficiency develops. If acid production becomes excessive, mucosal damage and ulcer formation may occur. The pancreas plays a central role in digestion. It releases amylase for carbohydrate digestion, lipase for fat digestion, and proteases for protein digestion. It also secretes bicarbonate, which neutralizes the acidic contents entering from the stomach. Without bicarbonate, the small intestine would be damaged by acid. The liver produces bile, which is stored in the gallbladder. Bile emulsifies fats by breaking large fat globules into smaller droplets that digestive enzymes can act upon. Without bile, fat digestion becomes inefficient, leading to fatty stools. Every secretion exists for a reason. Remove one, and dysfunction follows. Absorption, where nutrients enter the body. Most nutrient absorption occurs in the small intestine, which is divided into the duodenum, jejunum, and ileum. The structure of the small intestine is designed to maximize surface area. Circular folds slow the movement of chyme. Villi project outward to increase the contact surface. Microvilli on epithelial cells further amplify absorptive capacity. Carbohydrates are broken down into monosaccharides and transported across epithelial cells. Proteins are absorbed in the form of amino acids. Fats are packaged into micelles, absorbed into intestinal cells, and transported through the lymphatic system. Water moves according to osmotic gradients, while electrolytes follow specific transport mechanisms. If absorption fails because of mucosal damage or enzyme deficiency, patients may develop diarrhea, weight loss, electrolyte imbalance, and vitamin deficiencies. Absorption is not passive. It is regulated and selective. Blood supply, the lifeline of the GI tract. The gastrointestinal tract is highly vascular because absorbed nutrients must be transported into circulation. The celiac trunk supplies the foregut. The superior mesenteric artery supplies the midgut. The inferior mesenteric artery supplies the hindgut. If blood supply becomes compromised, ischemia develops. Patients may experience severe abdominal pain that is often described as pain out of proportion to physical findings. Understanding vascular supply enables clinicians to localize disease and recognize life-threatening conditions early. Hormonal control, chemical coordination. The GI system is also regulated by hormones. Gastrin stimulates acid production in the stomach. Secretin promotes bicarbonate secretion from the pancreas. Cholecystokinin stimulates bile release and pancreatic enzyme secretion. These hormones ensure that digestion occurs at the right time and in the right place. Without hormonal coordination, digestion would be inefficient and disorganized. Clinical integration. Why this matters. Now everything connects. Excess acid production damages the mucosa. Reduced motility leads to constipation. Absent pancreatic enzymes result in fat malabsorption. Blocked bile flow causes deficiencies in fat-soluble vitamins. Inflamed mucosa leads to malabsorption and diarrhea. Physiology explains pathology, and once physiology is clear, pharmacology becomes logical because treatment targets the mechanism. If this explanation has made the gastrointestinal system clearer than it has ever been for you, then month 2 is going to transform your understanding of medicine. In week 2, we will move into gastrointestinal pathologies, and everything we have discussed today will become clinically powerful. So here is what I want you to do. Subscribe to Elite Medic Nexus, save this video for revision, and review our cardiovascular series to see how body systems integrate. Medicine is not random, it is structured logic, and here we master it step by step. I will see you in the next video.